Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. It would be around the year 1965 when colored motion pictures were very popular and were hitting the cinemas. A boy of about 15 to 16 years of age, a very studious boy who had high dreams of becoming an accountant one day, rushed out of the cinema, rushing home when he heard the news that his father passed away. He went into the house and looked all around him. There were his eight sisters sitting around and crying with his younger brother in one corner and his mother and his father lying down there. That moment he knew that his dream of becoming an accountant one day is shattered into pieces. He left his studies and went to Chennai to work as an accountant in a small shop. He spent a few years there and then he moved to Mumbai where he spent almost 10 years worked as an accountant. And then there was a breakthrough in his life. He got a call from one of his uncles and said that there is a country called Brunei, which is located in the Borneo Islands, a thick rainforest nation which is occupied by the British. And there are a lot of job opportunities there. Would you want to go there? That day, that young man decided that he has to find life for himself. So he took the ship within a week later and went to that island and started off his job there. While he found his job, he also found himself a beautiful wife. Now, they were married against the wish of his parents in India. A year went, and then 39 years back, a son was born, and whom they named him as Jawahar. Now, the entire problem of their family was solved by the birth of their boy because, of course, you all know, right? When child is born, usually family is divided. And the boy became so special because the father was able to unite back with his family. And this is how my life began in a remote island of Borneo, where I lived almost first 20 years of my life. Every vacation, I used to come to India to spend my time with my grandmother for about a month, and I would go back there. Now, life in Brunei is very, very different. I have lived with pythons, alligators, and monitor lizards. Have you heard of Komodo dragons? Yes. Komodo dragons, these are the most visible animals in the roads and the streets. So I think I'm more familiar and comfortable dealing with reptiles and human beings until at least for the first part of my life. And the schooling system is also very unique. Though the country is entirely forest and you have very shortage for entertainment, the good thing about that is the education system was run by the British. There were very, very small schools, but they are all British people who teach in the school. And I was enrolled in one such school and I began my education there. I was a very, very introvert. Can you believe it? Until the age of 17, I probably would not have spoken much word and nobody would have heard my voice. But then in the school, one day there was a debating contest which I participated. And my English teacher felt that I should represent the school. That year, when I was in my 11th standard, I won the national champion there in public speaking. But then that came the end of my second chapter of my life. There is no scope for further education there after 12th standard. So I relocated back to India at the age of 19 to pursue my tertiary education in Chennai. And you know the problem with Chennai. We all believe that Chennai is not so welcoming to non-South Indians. But then, even if you're a South Indian, if you don't know proper Tamil, it is still not a welcoming. And I faced the difficulty right there in the first 2 years when I was speaking broken Tamil. Though my mother tongue is Tamil, I spoke broken Tamil for the first 2 years because I was not used to speaking it fluently. But then somehow I survived through it, and I had a very good education life. I did my computer science there. And again, my public speaking ambition kicked off once again. I represent the university. I won in the university level. I went to the division. I won in the division level, and I represented the South Zone of India. That is around the year 2004. And then, while I was in my final year of my studies, I got campus placement, and I got a job in IBM. And that's my first job, and that's what I left almost 3 months back after having worked there for almost 15 years in Bangalore. Yeah, my fourth chapter of my life kicked off in Bangalore. So when I moved into Bangalore, do you know what Bangalore is famous for? Any
Traffic.
Yes. But when it comes to entertainment, can you tell me what is it famous for?
I really like Bello.
What is it? Well, you call it Green City, but it is Film City. Maybe. Yeah, after KGF, yes. Yeah, it's famous for bars and pubs, just as much as how it is in Gurgaon. Yes, yes. So it's famous for bars and pubs. So I had my own share of my fun in Bangalore. And while working, I have to say that for almost 10 years, I've kept aside public speaking. Okay. So it is during the same time I got married, and now I'm not going to speak how I got married because I'm still confused whether it is a love marriage or arranged marriage. I still couldn't categorize it. How I got married is still a story, and I think I should reserve it as a separate speech altogether, which I usually do. So maybe I'll share it some other day. And I'm also blessed with one son who is about 11 years now. He's studying in Bangalore. So that was how my life began in Bangalore. Now, after about a break of about 10 years, that is when there was a need for me to go to a stage and speak. When I went there, I realized that there were butterflies in my stomach. And just like what many of you mentioned, my legs were shivering a little bit. After I gave the speech, which went well, I still went back and I thought about how I was 10 years back. I used to rush to the stage to speak with no fear, no butterflies, no leg shaking. Very, very comfortable. Indeed, I would be eagerly waiting. Will somebody give me a stage? I should go there and talk. But then the 10 years of gap changed everything. And I began to feel fear when it comes to public speaking. That is when I realized that when it comes to public speaking, it is not about how good speaker you are. It is how frequently you go up there. The more frequent you go up on the stage, you will know that that fear will automatically disappear. But when you reduce the frequency, again, that fear will keep on coming back to you over and over, slowly, and it will take over. It is not something you can ever overcome. If there's somebody who says that I have never felt any fear when I go to public speaking, bet it, he's lying. There is absolutely no chance. No matter how good speaker you are, be it Obama or Bill Clinton, you go to the stage, they will have fear. It is just that they don't show. So that is the basic principle of my life. And that is when I began to Google search and find out if there is any platform where I can go and just speak and make sure that I always remain as a well-oiled machine. And that is when I did Toastmasters 5 years back. And I enrolled in a Toastmasters club. And ever since then, I think there hasn't been a month passed without me attending at least 2 meetings in that period. So now, after relocating, now I think it's beginning the 5th chapter of my life from Bangalore to Gurgaon now. I never worry about traveling and exploring new people, new places, language. None of there is a barrier. I travel, I learn. And here I am right in front of you. I'm very, very glad for it. I hope to become a member of this club very, very soon. And that's a quick summary about myself. That's the end of my speech. Over to you. Thank you.